Now, the release of the latest crime figures here in the UK revealed there's a staggering 4.7 million crimes in the year to June 2023 have not been solved.
It's amazing, isn't it? That figure makes up 87% of all the crimes reported. This comes as more than 500,000 public order offences also went unpunished.
The Labour Party have slammed the Tories' handling of law and order as disgraceful. Labour have announced their plan to fill the estimated gap of 7,000 detectives by requiring police forces to fast-track a recruitment process of detectives.
Are we going to get the quality, though? I mean, right, joining us now to discuss these latest figures is the host of Protect and Serve podcast and former police officer, Oliver Laurence. Oliver, thank you so much for joining us this morning. These are, frankly, really scary statistics taking us into the new year, aren't they? What do you make of them?
Yeah, good morning, Dawn. Good morning, Martin. Yeah, they are terrifying. And sadly, I think they only represent a small majority of what the figures should be, because only 27% of crime is actually reported. So I think that's probably one of the most alarming points to start off with. But this hasn't just happened overnight. This has come about as the apocalyptic changes in police budgets since 2012 under Theresa May when she was Home Secretary, leading chief constables and commissioners of police across this country to try and allocate resources as best as they possibly can. And, we look at crime 10, 15 years ago. Policing was responding to calls for service, and most of those were crime. Now 1 out of 5 is crime. Police now spending more time responding and supporting other government departments, such in areas as mental health and welfare checks, that our police just don't have the capability or the resources currently under the current system, under the current funding, to support the community in the way that we'd expect them to. It's tragically upsetting.
Yeah, Oliver, it's a great point to say that the police have become a social service with mental health, with domestic violence call-outs, with missing persons work. But is there something else going on? As well as resource, is it a wrong direction? We seem to waste so much time policing tweets rather than policing streets, getting mixed up in social media fracas and, frankly, being paper pushers rather than being on the street and feeling colours.
So there's a couple of other major issues that we need to obviously be aware of, and that's been policing priorities over the last decade or so. We have taken a large quantity of our senior detectives and investigators within boroughs and local areas into counter-terrorism policing, which has been a major issue for the UK for us to tackle in the past. Another major issue for us is retention of senior and experienced staff. There's been a dramatic change in pay in the pension scheme for policing. It's no longer the attractive career that it once used to be. So what we're really struggling with at the moment is a level of seniority in frontline policing. So we've got police officers that probably don't have the capabilities or the ability and the depth to solve some of these crimes. Not the one they want to solve these crimes, but they need the support and the experience. And what I hope is, with the Labour comments which have come out, is that we don't rob Peter to pay Paul and we start taking out experienced officers from areas like organised crime and putting them back into the front line, because what will happen is 10 years from now we'll be talking about an explosion in organised crime figures, and suddenly we're trying to deal with another spot fire which is out of control.
Oliver, the common answer to every question these days is throw more money at it, whether it's crime, the NHS, whatever it is, just throw more money at it, and that's why we're paying the highest taxes in 70 years, da-da-da-da. But surely, a bit like the NHS, there's an awful lot of reorganisation that needs doing here. As Martin said earlier on, so many coppers who should be on the beat, nicking criminals of their day job, are filing paperwork, are investigating tweets. So do we need to look at how every single force in the country is organised and make them more efficient?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would even go one step further than that to say that one of the biggest areas that I think we need to look at for a sustainable and efficient and productive policing service is the welfare of our frontline police officers. Our men and women on the front line do an incredible job, and they want to serve the public in the best possible way they can, but they need the environment to do that successfully. And that's looking out for them, their welfare, how much they get paid. They're like us, they face challenges. The cost of living crisis is one of those. And I think as a country, we need to look at our frontline service providers. That includes the NHS and our paramedics. And look, what do we want them to be, and how do we want to look after them? And if we look after them, they will look after us. So it's about looking after our people and making sure we give them the environment to succeed.
OK, Oliver Laurence, the host of Protect and Serve podcast and a former copper. Thanks for joining us. Always appreciate it.
Thank you.